What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. In the last episode, we did a couple of side quests back in Kakariko Village and in Hyrule Castletown, but in this episode, it is finally time to put that to the side and go back to the main story quest. So, we're gonna transform into a human real quick, that way we can actually talk to our good old pal Fayer and show him the memo that Aru gave us a couple episodes ago. That way he can launch us to a new area of the map, and we can make our way to the next dungeon. So yes, we are finally back on track to continue the main story. Anyways, what do you think of this, Fayer? Looks pretty cool, huh? From old Aru, huh? Oh, well, I guess I ought to do what the old coot says. Oasis flight, right? So here you go, one of our secret options not available to the general public. This time's all paid for, so what do you say? You want to go? Let's do it. Alrighty then, but remember, next time, you gotta pay. Sweet sailing, buddy of mine. One for the Oasis, fire in the hole. Alright, so this is pretty dang exciting. Now, I'm not gonna skip this cutscene because, well, it is slightly different than, like, the normal cannon launch cutscene, but, I mean, it's more or less just the same thing. The cannon's going to point in a different direction. Now, once we actually land in this new area, there will be another pretty lengthy cutscene that does add quite a bit of backstory, so I'll be quiet for that one and let you guys experience, but for now, fire in the hole! And welcome to Gerudo Desert. Wait, Link! Before we go on, there's something I want you to hear. Do you remember what the spirit said about the few shadows? What do you think happened to the magic wielders who tried to rule the sacred realm? They were banished. They were chased across the sacred lands of Hyrule and driven into another realm by the goddesses. It was another world entirely, the antithesis of Hyrule, where the sun shines bright. Its denizens became shadows that could not mingle with the light. Eventually, most came to call it the Twilight Realm, and from it, none could return to the world of light. They were forever doomed to live in the twilight, flitting in the half-light of dusk, mere shadows of Hyrule. This is the history of the Twilight as it has been passed down from our ancestors. Do you now understand what I am? I'm a descendant of the tribe that was banished to the Twilight Realm. It was a peaceful place, until Zant took control of the Twilight Realm and transformed all of the Twilight into shadow beasts. It's clear to me now that he somehow gained a great evil power previously unknown to our tribe. In any case, I was sent from there, and could no longer get into the Twilight Realm without his power. But there's another tale told by my people. Though the goddesses forbade us to return to the world of light, they left one link between the light and the darkness. Something called the Mirror of Twilight was passed to the protectors of Hyrule. It's our only path to the Twilight Realm, and we must get there. You'll come with me, won't you? Of course we'll go with you, Midna. How could we not? Anyways, Gerudo Desert's actually very dangerous, guys, so I recommend transforming into a wolf because, well, you'll see in a second here. As soon as we start crossing the desert, a bunch of, like, sandworm-type enemies, speaking of which, one right there, are going to start attacking us, and they pretty much just jump out of the sand and lunge at you. They're pretty dang accurate, too, so the reason why I recommend being a wolf is just because you're a lot faster and can maneuver a lot easier in your wolf form than you could in your human form. And these sandworms, like, although they're only doing, you know, half a heart of damage every time they do hit you, in your human form, they hit you pretty frequently, so that does add up after a while, so definitely use your wolf form. Gerudo Desert during the daytime, there's really not too much we can do out here right now, but we do actually want to make our way all the way across from where we started over to this giant rock structure, I guess you could say. Not really sure what to call it. When you do stand on, like, these darker patches of rock, though, the sandworms stop attacking you. Anyways, let's transform back into a human because we need to use our hookshot because, believe it or not, if we look up at this tree, yes, we can hookshot onto it. There's also, like, this weird floating hookshot target thing as well, which you can use to reach this upper area. Now, be careful up here because, gosh dang it, camera, whatever. But yeah, like right over here, as soon as you step forward, yeah, check it out. We're gonna have to fight some shadow beasts again, so that's fun. At least after we defeat them, we will get another portal, which will allow us to teleport, you know, back to this area now without using the cannon from Thayer. And then, you know, we can leave and come back here as we please, which is pretty dang nice, I suppose. This is actually kind of closed in, though, so I'm not really sure what I should do here. I guess I'll just stay in my human form and try and get these guys closer together. There we go. Perfect. I think that's, like, the first time that I've actually killed all 3 shadow beasts, like, correctly as a human, so proud of myself for that. Anyways, though, we got a portal, but you probably also noticed that giant, like, rock structure sticking out of, this weird sand rock structure. That was not the correct word to use, but whatever. Let's climb up here and actually transform back into our wolf form because, well, if we go up and examine this rock structure, we can talk to Midna, and she'll ask us to warp. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, if you don't know what this thing is, it's actually the missing piece of the Bridge of Eldin. So what do you say we go and put that back? I mean, just look at how massive this thing is, though. So it's a good thing Midna can use, like, her Twilight powers or whatever. But even still, it does seem like it is somewhat of a struggle for even Midna to pick this thing up and put it back in its place. But at least once it is back, we will be able to use the bridge and cross it again. So that'll be very, very useful, I'm sure. Now, unfortunately, we're going with the bridge, you know, because we decided to warp with it, but we're really not going to stay in Hyrule for too long, so it's a good thing that we just got that portal there in the desert because, well, we're gonna go right back to it after we put this bridge back. So, bam, there you go. Thankfully, it just, like, sticks right back where it belongs, and now we can use it as per usual. Now, like I said, we're not going to stay here long, so let's just talk to Midna again and warp back to the desert because there is still a lot of stuff to do there. Most of which will take place at night. There's actually a couple Poes that we can collect and some golden bugs. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Matt, you said at the beginning of this episode we were done with side quests. Well, we are kind of, because all of the stuff that I'm going to collect is actually along the way to the next temple, so it's really not like I'm going out of my way to get these things. In fact, you know, by the time we're done with this episode, we probably will end up at the next temple, but we do need to wait for nighttime, so I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so it is finally nighttime, and guess what's behind us? It's one of our good friends, a Poe. So what do you say we go and grab his soul real quick? That's mine, my friend. Thank you very much. Alright, so now that we got that, there is something actually to the right of me that I want to point out. So, you can actually go down into what that is. It's called the Cave of Ordeals. Trust me, though, you do not want to go in there now. In fact, that'll probably be one of, like, the last things that we do, just because it is very dangerous. Anyways, though, let's transform into a human real quick. Not because these sandworms will stop attacking us at nighttime, but because there is actually a golden bug that I want to collect inside this little, like, trench. So hopefully we can grab this, like, quick enough to the point where we don't attract too many of these sandworms. So come on, bug, please land. And yes, there we go. Fantastic. Now that we got this Dayfly, though, let's transform back into a wolf and get the heck out of here, man, because I do not want to deal with these sandworms. Thankfully, though, unlike the last two golden insects that we've collected, we can actually complete the Dayfly pair right now because, well, the other counterpart is right over there. You can actually see it twinkling in the distance. So, wow, holy crap, that was actually a lot closer than I thought it was. And we transformed in, like, the perfect spot, so that worked flawlessly, man. Picked up that Dayfly super quickly. Anyways, back to wolf for us because now we need to travel all the way to the other side of the desert again. Similar to where we landed, you know, when we got launched out of the cannon from Fair, because there is actually going to be a postal all the way back here. And I'm actually trying to do this fairly quickly because there's a lot of things that we can collect here in the desert, and most of them, well, they only appear at nighttime, and since night only lasts for around 10 minutes, we've got a limited amount of time that we can do this. Alright, so here's our Poe friend. Would you be so kind as to give me your soul, buddy of mine? Thank you very much. Alright, so now that we got that, we can continue exploring the desert, and I don't want that skull, get out of here. Anyways, you can sort of like tell that Gerudo Desert is split up into two sections, or at least this part is split up into two sections, because if you look at the map, you can sort of see like a giant line going through sort of like the center of the map. I mean, it's not really like the exact center, but you can definitely see a line going through the map, and that sort of separates the two sections of Gerudo Desert. There is a way we can connect these two sections, but we don't do that until a little bit later on. So for now, we're actually just going to cross into the lower half of the desert and then sort of be stuck there, I guess you could say. But don't worry, by the time we finish up the next temple, we'll be able to go back up through there. I do actually want to take a quick detour real quick to head over to this rock formation, because if we come up here and transform into a human, there is actually another tree that we can hookshot onto. So let's head up here real quick, because again, there are a couple of Poe souls that we can collect. So back to the wolf form for us. A lot of transforming in this area, I know, but it's kind of cool, I guess. Anyways, come down here because I am in need of your soul. So thank you very much. Now, before it actually disappeared, I'm sure you guys noticed this giant dig spot. So let's dig down and enter sort of another hidden cavern. Now, down here, we're actually trapped in some rocks, but there are two Poes that we can get. Oh no, this is not good. I was kind of hoping we could kill that first Poe quickly, because yeah, now both of them are in like this small little rock enclosure with us, and this is not going to be easy. Man, I missed like the first Poe grab or soul grab. I don't even know you could do that, but whatever. These guys are really knocking me around though. It's actually getting kind of annoying. Gosh dang it, can you please just stop? Like, I just want your soul, man. Come on, it's not that hard. Alright, give me this one. Thank goodness. There we go. At least we got one of them. So now, this should be relatively simple. I missed again? Really? What is that? Like, I didn't even know you could miss that, and now I'm, like, missing all the time. You better come back over here. There we go. Alright, man. You need to just give me your soul. There we go. Finally, man. That took entirely too long, but we did it. We got the two Poe souls. I mean, it was at the cost of, like, 4¼ hearts, but still, at least we got it. Anyways, while we're in here, I guess, let's actually take out our bombs and blow up these rocks, because, yes, there's actually still more of this, like, little tiny cavern to explore. We can get ourselves another chest. I don't believe it's anything too important. It's probably just rupees, so if you wanted to, you could probably leave after you grab the Poe souls. Anyways, though, let's take out our lantern, because there are 3 torches that we need to light. 2 on the sides, and then, of course, like 1 right next to where the chest is going to appear. So, there we go. And the chest will now materialize before our eyes. Alright, well, let's see what's inside. This better be like an orange rupee, or I'm going to be pretty pissed. Alright, good. It actually is an orange rupee, so thank goodness. I will definitely take that. That was worth it for me, honestly, because we spent a lot of rupees, so it's good to get those back. Now, seriously? None of these pots have hearts in them. Are you kidding me? Really, dude? Come on. Like, I needed, like, a heart or something. Oh, man, there was a pot back there. I bet you that was the pot that had, like, 5 hearts in it. Just, like, chilling there, waiting for me to smash it. But, whatever. Not a big deal. We don't really need the hearts. I mean, it would have been nice. I'm kind of, like, weird about that. Like, I always like to have full health whenever I'm playing a Zelda game. I don't know why. It just, like, really bugs me whenever, like, my heart gauge is sort of lower than full. Anyways, let's actually make our way over to this campfire. Now, believe it or not, this is actually an enemy camp, so we're not going to get too close to it because we don't want them to spot us. So instead, we're actually going to stand about here and then take out our bow and arrow because on top of these little towers are actually, sort of like enemies that are on the lookout for us. So you kind of want to take them out from far away so they don't alert the other enemies nearby that we're, like, invading their camp. Now, it is a lot easier to do this if you have the pointer off because then your hands are not shaking and stuff like that. Alternatively, you can actually use the Hawkeye item and, you know, aim from farther away with the pointer controls, and it'll be a little bit easier to actually see the enemies. Although, since we aren't using the pointers, and wow, I actually didn't realize this enemy was still here. Anyways, yeah, but since we aren't using the pointer, we don't really need to worry about that. Alright, so after we defeated those enemies, well, guess what? We can actually take one of their bowls and ride them similar to how we can ride Epona. And these guys are cool because when you press A to dash, yeah, they go ridiculously crazy and you can actually, like, bash through wooden barriers and stuff like that, which is important to us because, well, sort of blocking the path to the next area of the desert and where the sort of next temple is a bunch of wooden barriers. So let's just bash right through those, and there we go. You can also, like, bash into a wall to get off the bull if you really want to, or alternatively, you could just wait until it stops moving and dismount it as normal. Alright, now that we're up here, though, check it out. It's our friend the Golden Wolf, so what do you say we talk to him and learn another hidden skill? I wonder what it'll be this time. Well, there's really only one way to find out, so let's do this, man. How you been? Chilling in the desert? Hope you've had a good time. We meet again. At last, the skills I have to teach you have entered the realm of true secrecy. They are forgotten ways that do not leave our bloodline. Among the techniques I shall be teaching you are some that may even endanger you. Do you feel ready to learn these skills? Let's do it. Very well. But before we begin, I must test you to ensure that you have mastered the last skill I taught you, the Helm Splitter. Now then, come at me. Alright, let's just get this over with. Bam, A, and slash. So there you go. We did it. Excellent. It appears you are certainly capable of performing my lost art. Very well, my 5th hidden skill is the Mortal Draw. Let it be hewn into your mind. This is actually a very unique move, and no other Zelda game actually has this. It's pretty dang cool if you ask me. The ways of the sword are known to many creatures, and some have strengthened their guards against shield attacks and back slices. Should you encounter such a foe, the Mortal Draw that I am about to teach you is most effective. You must sheathe your sword and cast aside the most basic of sword skills, the Z target. You must wait until your foe is upon you. Then, before the enemy can see through your ruse, you must quickly draw your blade with A. There is no defense for this. The Mortal Draw deals death. Very well, now try it. Alright, so this technique is actually really fun when you pull it off because it's just, I don't know, it's really satisfying. But yeah, what you want to do is, get close to your enemy, and it's supposed to give you, like, the option to pull out your sword. Not really sure why it's, oh, you know what? It's actually because I was Z-targeting him. I'm an idiot, man. I just read that, too, from his dialogue, but I was not paying attention. So, yeah, you cannot, like, Z-target the enemy. What you want to do is stand close to them without Z-targeting, and then just press A. It's as simple as that. That was a pointed strike, but do not forget that this technique leaves your life at risk. The 5th hidden skill, the Mortal Draw, has been passed on. Alright, so there we go. A little bit of an error on my part, but you know what? We did it. We got ourselves another hidden skill. There are still 2 hidden skills for you to learn. Do not neglect your daily sword training between now and the time you come to learn the next. May we meet again. I'm sure we will. Alright. Now that that is done, though, there's still more things for us to collect, like a Poe directly in front of us. So let's just head over here real quick and transform into a wolf. That way we can grab this next Poe soul. Alright, come down here, my friend. Oh no, levers, you're in my way. What are you doing? Don't be here right now. This is not a place for you. Aw, man, he got back up already. That was actually really quick, dude. Like, not even fair. Get back down here, dude. Ah, man. I keep messing up these Poes, like, so bad. I swear. Like, normally Poes, they're not really that hard to get the souls from them, but I just find a way to screw them up constantly. Anyways, now that we got that, though, let's actually head down this path because, well, this will take us closer to the next temple. But before we get there, we kind of have to infiltrate an enemy base of sorts, so be very sneaky when coming in here. In fact, we're going to transform back into a human back here because I want to use my bow real quick to actually snipe this guard up here in the tower. You might not be able to see it, but look for like the two glowing eyeballs in the darkness, and that's sort of, you know, what you want to aim for when you're using your bow. Now, there's going to be several guards around here, so I'm going to try and be a little bit sneaky and take them out from far away. It's kind of cheap because I kind of memorized the location of all these enemies beforehand, so yeah, like, I guess if you were going through here the first time, you might as well just alert the guards to your present and then take out the ones in the look tower. But since I do kind of know where most of them are already, I'm just going to take them out before they spot us, hopefully. If they spot us, it's not really that big of a deal. The guys on the ground, I'm pretty sure, just call upon more enemies to, like, attack you. However, the guys in the tower, they will actually cause more enemies to spawn until you defeat them. So if those guys see you and, well, we actually just got spotted, so that is fan-freaking-tastic. You know what, whatever, let's just go in on it then. I guess there's really no point in being stealthy now, considering they all see us. And hey, look, that guy in the tower spotted us. Awesome, man. Alright, let's take him out quickly just so enemies stop spawning. And there we go, fantastic. Now we just have to sort of like deal with what's around us. But let's try and lead them over here because, yes, there is another enemy, and this guy has some weird particles around him, so he's kind of important. First, let's take out everyone else. And, yeah, the enemy with the particles around him actually drops a small key, so let's grab this real quick. And there is one more pretty important thing that you can do here. So, slash at this pig for a while, because eventually it is going to break, and it drops a piece of heart. So, there we go. And, hey, that actually did refill our heart meter, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, we're gonna take this small key that we just got and open up this gate, which is sort of going to lead us into a storehouse, I guess. And there is a bull inside here, so what do you say we go over to it? Uh-oh, it seems like we're not alone. It's us and this bull, but guess what, it's also the one, the only, the King Boblin. Yes, I know, we have to fight this guy for a third time now, and hey, that was not very nice, man. He beat up his pig, and then he beat up us. Alright, now, this fight's actually pretty dang easy. Like, King Boblin is pretty slow, so I'm gonna try and do this quickly because I believe time still passes in here, and there's actually 2 more Poes that I want to collect in this area, so if I wait too long in this fight, they might actually disappear. Anyways, what you want to do in this fight is, wow, that actually hit me. That thing has like a way larger hitbox than I thought it did because I swear, like, I was not in range of that. But, yeah, what you want to do in this battle is wait for him to attack and then actually successfully dodge his attacks. And, oh, that was just not the right place to be at the right time. All right, you know what, real quick, let's come back here and grab this red chew jelly because we're in kind of the danger zone right now, man, and I do not want to die to King Boblin, man. That would just be embarrassing. So, you know, here's what we're going to do. Instead of waiting for him to attack, let's try and do a couple of these back slices, man. That ought to do the trick. Not even giving him a chance to attack. That seems like the better idea. So, there we go. That ought to do it. But yeah, normally that should be like a very easy fight to the point where you don't even take damage because you can just easily dodge all of his attacks and then counter them sort of when he's preparing his next attack, I guess. But yeah, Link is just such a nice guy that we decided to let King Bulblin just leave. I mean, he does have a full life ahead of him. I'm sure he'll be very grateful that we spared his life like 3 times now. So grateful, in fact, that he goes and decides to burn down the hut that we're standing in. Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Really appreciate that. It's a good thing that he left his bull in here because that will provide us with a way to escape. So let's just get on this real quick, and what you want to do is just pretty much point this thing in the direction of this door and click A. That's really all you need to do. The rest is pretty much automated. It's going to bring us now into the next area, which will put us directly in front of the next temple. So there it is in all its glory. It kind of looks a little bit like the Colosseum. You can also see a Poe right off to the right of it. But you know what? We're not going to go up there just yet. Instead, let's transform back into a wolf. And we actually want to make our way back to that shack that we were just in because, well, now that it's burned down, in sort of like the center of it is going to be a Poe for us to collect. So let's grab this real quick, and then we'll double back and get the one right next to the temple, and hopefully we can get both of these before it turns to day. And holy crap, it is really dark in here, like you can barely see the floor. But there we go, we got ourselves another soul. Now let's just go get the one next to the temple. I guess it still like is pretty late into the night. Like it doesn't seem like it's going to turn to daytime anytime soon, which I guess is good for us because that means we did things pretty quickly. Anyways, let's head off to the right and we'll grab this Poe soul real quick. There we go. Give me your soul. Thank you very much. There's also actually one more thing that we can do, so let's turn back into a human real quick, because over here on the left side there are actually 2 torches that, if we go ahead and light, will cause a chest to materialize. And I'm pretty sure this one just contains more rupees, but that's still kind of nice. So let's open this up and see how much we get. Hey, it's 50 rupees, not too bad. Alright, so now we are set to enter the next temple. However, we're going to do that in the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.